Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the COLA adjustment for 2022. At this point, most of you have heard that the official increase has been confirmed and they just announced that it's going to be 5.2%. Now for some people this is going to add up to $1,092 per year in additional Social Security benefits. So in this video we're going to cover the COLA adjustment, how to calculate exactly how much bigger your payment will be, and even a new rule that might change the way COLA is calculated, which could potentially lead to bigger payments every single year. And as always on this channel, we'll also throw in a quick update on stimulus. So let's discuss the details in this video, but before we do, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. I also have a second channel, so if you guys could do me a huge favor, click on the link that's in the description of this video. Go ahead and subscribe to my second channel. I'm going to be giving away a stimulus check on that channel just as a thank you for supporting my work. Okay, so the official announcement for COLA has been confirmed and is 5.9%. Now, this comes as Bernie Sanders is trying to include a $1,000 stimulus check for seniors in the next stimulus package, which would apply to everybody on Medicare and most likely extend to everybody on SSI and SSDI as well. At the same time, new studies have shown that a fourth round of stimulus checks is needed and justified for basically everybody making less than $25,000 per year. And yes, this includes people on Social Security benefits, and the government is taking into account this data. So there is a bigger movement now for a fourth round of stimulus checks. Now, Democrats continue to put that package together, and we expect to have it done in the next few weeks. But the good news today is that the COLA increase was officially announced and is going to be 5.9%. Now, this is generally really good news, but I also want to make a quick point here. It's not enough, and I know that. The point of this channel is to give a voice for seniors and to give a voice for those who are disabled, and hopefully Congress will take note and increase benefits like they promised. Now, this increase is a step in the right direction, and again, like I've said on this channel before, we need a 10% increase every single year for at least 10 years, just so we can double Social Security benefits and get it to where it needs to be to allow seniors to live in a retirement of dignity. And let me know in the comments if you agree. Now, with all of that being said, a 5.9% COLA adjustment is a step in the right direction. Now, with the average Social Security benefit being $1,543 per month, if you multiply that by 5.9%, that's an additional $91 per month. And if you multiply that by 12, that's an additional $1,092 per year for the average person getting Social Security benefits. Now, I know you're watching this video and you're thinking, Andrew, I don't make $1,500 per month. My Social Security benefit is $1,000 per month or $900 per month. Well, let's quickly do the math. If your monthly Social Security benefit is $1,000 per month, if you multiply that by 0.59%, multiply that by 5.9%, that's an additional $59 per month, which adds up to an additional $708 in 2022 because of this COLA adjustment. Now, again, that's a step in the right direction. An additional $700 will go a long way to help you put food on the table, pay your rent, maybe buy yourself a couple of gifts, something small like that. But again, I know it's not enough, and I know it's just a small step in the right direction, especially when you take into account that the COLA adjustments for the last 10 years have been really, really bad. Quite honestly, the COLA adjustments have been bad since the 1980s. If you take a look at this chart, in about 1981, the COLA adjustment was 14.3%. That was a really good COLA adjustment, and that was actually when inflation was really high in the 1980s. Then since then, they've been really, really bad, especially since the year 2000. If you look here, 2000 it was 2.5, then 3.5. A couple of years it was actually 0. I mean, we've had COLA adjustments of like 1 or 2% the last couple of years, and in 2021 this year was actually only 1.3%. So these COLA adjustments have been completely unacceptable. Now, this article by CNBC is titled Social Security Cost of Living Adjustment Will Be 5.9% in 2022, the biggest annual hike in 40 years. In 2021, the COLA was 1.3%. The last time the annual adjustment came close to this 2022 figure was in 2009, when beneficiaries saw a 5.8% increase. More than 64 million Social Security beneficiaries will see the boost in their monthly checks starting in January. So that is when this increase will begin on your January payments. Meanwhile, 8 million SSI beneficiaries will increase starting December 30th. Now, the estimated average monthly benefit for all retired workers will rise to $1,657 per month, up from $1,565. Today's announcement of a 5.9% COLA increase, the largest increase in 4 decades, is crucial for Social Security beneficiaries and their families as they try to keep up with rising costs. That was a statement made by Joanne Jenkins, who is the CEO of the AARP organization. So this is really, really good news. And let me know in the comments, guys, are you happy with this COLA? Obviously, it's not quite enough, but will this go a long way in helping you pay for your increased cost of living? Let me know in the comments below. Now, this article highlights the fact that since 2000, from between 2000 and 2021, Social Security recipients have lost 32% of their buying power as COLAs grew by about half as much as the actual costs of goods and services increased. Now, this just goes to show that the annual COLA adjustments have not been actually keeping up with inflation because the last 21 years have seen your benefits lose 32% of their buying power. That is completely ridiculous and completely unacceptable. In a time when the stock market has been soaring, real estate market has been soaring, millionaires are getting richer, billionaires are basically on the verge of becoming trillionaires. We have millionaires and billionaires avoiding paying taxes, and then we have seniors losing 32% of their buying power in the last 20 years. Guys, that is completely unacceptable, and we genuinely have a problem here. Guys, this channel that I have and these videos that I make are not just for fun, and they're not just to complain. I mean, we have a genuine problem here, and let me know in the comments if you agree. This is why I truly hope that Congress takes notice of our videos that we make, and they take into account the fact that they promised to increase Social Security benefits. They promised to increase SSI, increase SSDI, and do monthly stimulus for those on Social Security benefits in the meantime until they can permanently increase benefits. Now, this is a genuine issue, and quite frankly, I've noticed that politicians on both sides, Republicans and Democrats, they tend to ignore seniors once they're in office. Now, every time there's an election cycle, they promise to increase benefits, they promise to lower the cost of Medicare, they promise to expand Medicare, and then as soon as they're in office, nothing gets done. Well, it's time for that to end. And guys, do me a quick favor, like this video and share this video with as many people as you can because we need to get the word out there that Social Security benefits, SSI and SSDI, need to have their benefits increased bigger than 5.9%. Again, this is okay for this 1 year, but we need permanent increases for Social Security benefits. Now, one quick thing I want to point out is that the way that COLA is calculated actually might change in the near future, and this could actually lead to bigger COLA adjustments every single year. Now, this has to do with the formula that's used to calculate COLA. This formula can get a little bit complicated, so I won't go too crazy into the weeds, but basically the formula they used is called CPIW, and this is the formula they've used since 1975. Now, the problem with that formula is that the factors that they used to create that formula actually doesn't represent what seniors pay. It doesn't really take into account inflation on medical costs, inflation on prescription drug costs. It doesn't really take into account that seniors spent a large majority of their income on housing. This is why a lot of people, including Bernie Sanders and President Biden, want to change the formula to something called the CPIE, which takes into account things like medical costs, housing, pharmaceutical costs, things like this that seniors tend to spend more money on. So experts say that if they change this formula, it will lead to larger COLA adjustments every single year. Now, it wouldn't be a 10% COLA adjustment, but instead of 5.9, it might be 6.5. And this change would add up over the years. Now, again, 10% is what we need, but this again would be a step in the right direction. So guys, overall, really, really good news for seniors. This COLA adjustment of 5.9% could add up to $1,092 per year in additional Social Security benefits. And again, I showed you how to calculate your increase. Just take whatever you make per month and multiply that by 0.059, and that will be your monthly increase, and then multiply that by 12, and that is your increase for the entire year. Now, before we end this video, let's do a quick update update on stimulus and where things stand today. Now, if you've been following the stimulus updates, you already know that moderate Democrats Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema are basically forcing the Democratic Party to lower the overall cost of the stimulus package from $3.5 trillion to somewhere between $1.5 and $2.5 trillion. Nancy Pelosi recently announced that they are bending to their will and are going to have to lower the price of this package. Now, Bernie Sanders and fellow liberal Democrats are slamming Pelosi and saying that we need to stick to the $3.5 trillion budget. And he said, given the overwhelming support of this stimulus package from the American people, why is it taking so long for Congress to pass this bill? And why are moderate Democrats trying to lower the overall cost, which would lower the overall amount of stimulus that the American people receive? And he said, you must follow the money. What Bernie Sanders is saying is if the large majority of the American people want the stimulus package, why isn't it getting done? And what he's saying is that Republicans and moderate Democrats are being manipulated by rich donors who don't want them to approve this stimulus package. And he actually shared an article that was written by Fox News. Yes, Fox News, not CNN. So this is not some CNN or some liberal webpage. This is Fox News. And this is actually an article written by Bernie Sanders himself explaining why he thinks that moderate Democrats and Republicans are being manipulated by the oil companies, by the pharmaceutical companies, who don't want to let us do things like increase Social Security benefits because we're going to have to tax the rich in order to pay for it. So really interesting that actually Fox News let Bernie Sanders share this article on their website. Pretty interesting, if I do say so myself. This article really highlights the fact that the large majority of the American people support the stimulus package and want these stimulus checks approved. It's something like 88% of Americans approve of this stimulus package. So let's take a look, see exactly what this article says, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
At a time when working families continue to struggle, poll after poll shows that the vast majority of the Americans people support the provisions in President Joe Biden's $3.5 trillion Build Back Better Act. Some 88% believe we should lower the cost of prescription drugs, 84% believe we should expand Medicare to include dental care, hearing aids and eyeglasses, 73% support establishing paid family and medical leave, and 67% want universal pre-K. Further, 67% believe the federal government should raise taxes on high-income people and corporations to help pay for these desperately needed programs, which is what this legislation does. So, given this overwhelming support, why is it taking so long for Congress to pass this bill? The answer is simple. Follow the money. As part of our corrupt, big money-dominated political system, the pharmaceutical industry is now spending hundreds of millions of dollars on lobbying, campaign contributions, and television ads to defeat this legislation because it does not want Medicare to negotiate for lower prescription drug prices. In order to increase their profits, they want American taxpayers to continue paying by far the highest prices in the world for our medicine, sometimes 10 times more than the people in other countries. Last year alone, while nearly 1 out of 4 Americans could not afford to fill the prescriptions their doctors wrote, 6 of the largest pharmaceutical companies made nearly $50 billion in profits, and the 10 highest-paid executives in the industry made more than $500 million in compensation. In order to preserve their corrupt and greedy pricing system, the drug companies hired nearly 1,500 lobbyists, including former leaders of the Republican and Democratic parties, to protect their interests. That is 3 lobbyists for every member of Congress. Unbelievable. But let's be clear. Opposition to this bill is not just limited to the pharmaceutical industry. At a time when millions of senior citizens and people with disabilities cannot afford the home health care, dental care, hearing aids, and eyeglasses they desperately need, private health insurance companies are strongly opposed to this legislation. They are spending tens of millions of dollars to defeat this bill because they do not want Congress to expand Medicare to provide dental, hearing, and vision benefits, and they apparently do not want seniors to receive the quality care they need in their own homes. And it's not just the healthcare industry and big drug companies. The fossil fuel industry is launching a major advertising campaign to defeat this legislation because it seems to be more concerned about protecting their short-term profits than addressing the existential threat of climate change. At a time of record-breaking forest fires, drought, rising sea levels, and extreme weather disturbances, the fossil fuel industry has, since 2000, spent more than $2 billion on lobbying to protect its special interests and prevent the federal government from making cuts in carbon emissions to protect our planet. Further, at a time of massive wealth and income inequality, when the two richest people in this country own more wealth than the bottom 40%, the billionaire class is vigorously opposing this legislation because it wants to prevent Congress from making the wealthiest people and most profitable corporations finally start paying their fair share of taxes. The corporate elite seem to love the idea that billionaires have a lower effective tax rate than nurses or teachers, and that, in a given year, there are dozens of profitable corporations that don't pay a nickel in federal income tax. Let's be clear. The $3.5 trillion Build Back Better Act will not only expand Medicare, improve home health care for the elderly and disabled, lower prescription drug prices, combat climate change, and demand that the wealthy and large corporations pay their fair share of taxes. It will cut child poverty in half by extending the $300 a month direct payments for working-class parents that expire in December. It will allow more than 1 million women to get back into the workforce by making sure that working families pay no more than 7% of their incomes on child care and make preschool free for every 3- and 4-year-old in America.
It will also have $1,000 stimulus checks for seniors if Bernie Sanders is able to get that done. So there you have it, folks. Bernie Sanders' article is saying that we have billionaires avoiding paying taxes. Then we have them lobbying to not have Congress approve more stimulus for the American people. Completely unacceptable, guys. So although we had good news with the COLA adjustment, we still continue to fight for more stimulus and to permanently increase Social Security benefits. And all of this is happening as Democrats are working on the next 2 stimulus packages, which we should have done in the next few weeks. So don't forget to subscribe, and I will keep you posted as things develop. And with that said, thank you so much for watching. So until the next video, take care and have a great day.